Hello everybody, it's Peter Downs here from the Inclusion Club. I have Kerry Tavro with me from Gymnastics Victoria. Here, how you going, Kerry?
I'm going very well, thank you.
Good. We're going to talk to Kerry about the Gymnastics for Everybody program, which you can read about in this episode. But it's a good chance to catch up with Kerry and get it straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak, about what they do down in Victoria and through gymnastics generally, through the Gymnastics for Everybody program. Now, first, Kerry, can you tell me just a little bit about your role with Gymnastics Victoria?
Sure. My role, I'm the inclusion coordinator, and I basically support our clubs affiliated with Gymnastics Victoria, which is 104 clubs across the state, to be more inclusive of all people. My role is funded through Vic Health, and our focus at the moment is disability.
Yeah. Well, as I mentioned, that's great. That's great, Kerry. Have you mentioned Gymnastics Victoria does some great work in terms of the Gymnastics for Everybody program down there. Now, one of the messages in the video that people will also be able to see in this episode is that inclusive coaching is just good coaching. Now, I love that message there. Now, I'm sure you have some good coaches there already, but have you done anything extra at all? Do you have meetings? Do you have any extra kind of training that you provided to your coaches, particularly when you're talking about inclusion of people with disabilities?
Yeah, our inclusive training is there's a lot of depth. For example, if you're a coach coming into gymnastics anywhere across the country, you do an online training course which is called Managing Inclusion in Gymnastics, and you go through that training course, which gives you the basics about what it is to be an inclusive coach, and it just puts it on the radar for any new coach. I've recently been supporting Gymnastics Australia to update that resource. Gymnastics Victoria also created an inclusion awareness training module, and this module is a bit of a practical module where we go out to clubs and we support coaches, administration, committee members, and basically give them the education and that message that inclusive coaching is just good coaching. And it doesn't matter who it is you're coaching, you just need to look at the best way they learn and just be creative in working out what supports they need to learn a particular task.
Yeah, I remember the managing inclusion in gymnastics, the MIG program, because I was a little bit involved with that in the early days of it there. That's quite a significant online resource you have there.
Yeah, it is a good resource, and it is good to have that flagged with all coaches, no matter where they're coming from. That inclusion is important to any coach. Yeah. We also have other resources that we have to support our clubs, such as a language is important document, just speaking about the importance of inclusive language. We also have how to get the most out of your gymnasts, which is a bit of a fact sheet about any gymnast. It doesn't have to be a person with a disability. They could be from anywhere, which just tells you you can gather information about how they learn, what kind of supports they need, and basically you can get the most out of your gymnasts.
That's great. Maybe we can get some links and some downloads of some of those resources here for people to have a look at. That'd be great.
Yeah, definitely. And we also have the Gymability Gym Mix, which is a resource that was developed a few years ago, which is quite a heavy book on how to coach inclusively, and it's got practical examples. And we're also developing leader clubs within Victoria. So the idea is that we develop leader clubs in each of the metropolitan areas, so east, north, south and west, as well as our regional areas. And these clubs will act as hubs, inclusive hubs, and support clubs around them. So if a club wants to become more inclusive, they can go to that inclusive club, watch a few classes, get some tips off coaches, and go from there.
Fantastic. Okay. Now, gymnastics is a real diverse sport, as we were just talking about, with all the different disciplines and everything. Now, you seem to created a really good inclusive culture, not just in your club but almost in the whole sport around inclusion. But is it what's how did this happen? I'm interested to see how that kind of evolved over time.
Yeah, I think it's within the gymnastics community. There's a lot of different types of cultures. Some gymnastics clubs are focused on elite sort of level, and other gymnastics clubs are really community focused. Now, I've found working with most of our clubs that they are all open to becoming more inclusive, and that they're a real team and they're happy to support each other, even if it's kids in a class or coaches. They're all supportive of everybody. They know that to get the most out of your gymnasts, you need to provide a good environment. So I've been really lucky coming into this sport because it is a really inclusive and open community. And I think the supports are there from Gymnastics Victoria and Gymnastics Australia to foster that inclusive kind of community.
Yeah, and it helps, doesn't it? It's not just about people with disabilities we're talking about here. It's all sorts of diverse groups that are involved with the Gymnastics for Everyone program within there, and that really helps overall with the that culture of inclusion that you have.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's it. I mean, the whole point of having gymnastics for everybody is it is an explanation of what we're trying to achieve. We're not, even though my role is targeting participants with a disability, I'm continuously looking at ways to get anybody involved, whether they're from a cold background or an Indigenous background, any minority group really. We're just supporting basically everyone to get involved because it is such a great sport for your health.
It's an interesting thing, isn't it? That if you separated out your disabilities program from that, then you wouldn't be being inclusive at all. So that overall inclusive nature of what you do really helps a lot.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah, definitely. It's it is important to be to continually think of the bigger picture, because I think inclusive work is the basic foundations of it is the same. It doesn't matter who you're trying to include. It's all the same really. So this kind of supports you. If I'm developing a resource specifically for people with a disability, it's easy to just change the wording and opening it up to everybody, and that's what we try to do.
Yeah, fantastic, fantastic. You also produced some very cool resources, some very nice resources in your posters. The video as well is very well produced. The quality is very, very good. Do you think that also makes a difference in promoting what you do? The quality of how you promote is really adding to that as well.
Yeah, definitely. When we developed the poster, flyer, and DVD series, we did want a professional look to this campaign because it showed that we're serious about including participants with a disability. So it did cost a bit more money, but I think the message has really been sent far and wide. And I'm getting calls all the time from clubs, from schools, from individuals who are interested in getting involved. So the campaign's been really successful.
I think that's a real big lesson for a lot of organisations across the world, really, because the standard of the resources that you produce to promote your message and your program, they're equal to any other program that gymnastics do. The quality is just the same.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we have seen such a good response, and it's actually been a fantastic way for us to engage our clubs, having individuals contact us, and then we take those individuals to a club and support them to be included within that environment. And then it also gives us a chance to educate our coaches within that club and develop that club to be more inclusive. So, it's been everything's been driven by a needs basis, which has been good.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. Well, we could have a chat all day, Kerry, but there's a lot more information that I'll include about the work that you do here, which I think is really kind of a model for a lot of other clubs, not just in Australia but worldwide, to have a look at. So I'll encourage people who are looking at this episode to really have a look at the resources that you have and the approach that you've got to everything you do down there. But I'll cut it off there as a short little interview. So thank you very much for your time, Kerry, really appreciate it, and keep up the great work.
Thanks.